She stood up at my baby shower in front of 34 women, including my mother, my coworkers, and my OBGYN, and said, "I just want everyone to know that this pregnancy was not planned, and we are all doing our best to be supportive." I am Maya Chin Holloway, 31 years old, and this is the story of how my mother-in-law sued me for emotional damage and lost in 11 minutes flat. By the time she filed that lawsuit, I already had the evidence. I had been building it for 2 years. Patrick's mother, Diane Holloway, lived 8 miles from our house in a beige colonial she referred to as the family home, as though Patrick and I were guests in our own marriage. She called every Sunday at 6 p.m. Patrick always answered. I understood that. What I came to understand more slowly was that answering was not enough. I was also supposed to perform gratitude for the opportunity to be adjacent to her family. The first time she corrected my cooking in my own kitchen, I handed her the spoon. The second time, I left the room. The third time, I started keeping notes. Not because I knew I would need them. Because writing things down is how I stay calm. The baby shower comment was not the beginning. It was just the moment that had the largest audience. 7 months before the shower, Diane told Patrick, at their standing Tuesday lunch which I was never invited to, that she believed I had trapped him. Patrick told me this the same night, not as a warning, but because he thought I should have the full picture. I said, "Thank you for telling me." I wrote it down. I noted the date, September 14th. For months before the shower, she forwarded an article to our joint family email chain. The subject line was interesting. Read. The article was titled "When Daughters-in-Law Struggle to Integrate." I was on that email chain. My mother-in-law knew that. I replied with a single word, "Noted." Then I screenshot it, saved it to a folder I labeled documentation, and continued eating my lunch. 6 weeks before the shower, she offered to help plan it. I said yes because I was 7 months pregnant and tired, and because I believed people could surprise you. She used my guest list to call for women, including my coworker Renata and my college roommate Priya, and tell them, separately, that I had been going through a difficult time emotionally, and that they should keep things low-key. Renata told me. Priya sent me the voicemail. I added both to the folder. Then came the shower. 34 women. The toast. Her voice carrying across a rented garden room that smelled like white roses and cucumber sandwiches, telling everyone the pregnancy was unplanned. I set down my sparkling water. I looked at my mother. She was looking at her lap. I looked at my OBGYN. She was looking at Diane. I did not say anything. I did not cry. I picked up my water again and turned to the woman next to me and asked about her daughter's recital. That night, after Patrick fell asleep, I opened my laptop and emailed a family law attorney named Susan Garrett, whose name I had written on a post-it note 3 months earlier after seeing her quoted in a local news article. I wrote 3 sentences, what Diane had said, how many people heard it, and the phrase "ongoing pattern." I attached the screenshot, the voicemail file, and my dated notes. Susan called me the next morning. Here is what Susan explained to me: over the following 6 weeks, Diane could not sue me for emotional distress based on behavior I had not committed. She also explained that if Diane chose to pursue that path, which she did, 40 days after the shower, filing a small claims action citing emotional harm caused by exclusion and hostility, the documentation I had assembled would be material to the court's understanding of the actual pattern in our relationship. The claim alleged $4,200 in damages. Therapy costs, she said. Hotel stays because I had made her feel unwelcome at our home. One dinner she claimed I had deliberately ruined by creating tension. I brought to court 14 dated journal entries, 2 forwarded emails, 1 saved voicemail, and a signed written statement from Renata confirming Diane's pre-shower phone call. The judge reviewed the file for 11 minutes before dismissing the case. She noted, without elaboration, that the documentation reflected a communication pattern inconsistent with the plaintiff's claim of unilateral harm. Diane's face, when the dismissal was read, did not collapse. It simply went still, the way a screen goes dark when a device runs out of power. I said nothing to her in the hallway. I thanked Susan, I called my mother, and I drove home. Patrick and I are still married. That required its own separate work, and it was harder than the lawsuit. Diane has not spoken to me directly since the courtroom. She sends birthday cards to our daughter, Lily, and I make sure Lily receives them. I do not keep score on her behalf. That is not what I want to teach her. Some people asked me why I kept such careful notes from the beginning. Honestly, I did not know I would need them. I kept them because I needed to trust my own memory. Because when someone chips away at you in small, deniable increments, the first thing to go is your certainty that it is actually happening. I know what I lost. 2 years of Sundays I spent managing instead of living. A version of my marriage that could have been easier. The naive belief that keeping the peace was the same as having it. I know what I kept. My own account of events, accurate and dated, which turned out to matter more than anyone's opinion of my character. Lily is 2 now. She is the least diplomatic person I have ever met. She says exactly what she wants, directly, with total confidence.